Welcome back to Public Affairs on Peace. Joining me now, two gentlemen who fight for the rights of the LGBTQ community every day. Jeff Graham is the Executive Director of Georgia Equality and the Equality Foundation of Georgia. And Richard Bergman from PFLAG Atlanta. I want to talk to you both about what you do every day. Richard, talk about PFLAG. What does it stand for?
PFLAG stands for Parents, Families, and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. And we also have a number of people with bisexuality and transgender.
All right, and how long have you been with the organization?
I've been involved about 8 years.
Okay, and how do kids, young people, get to know what you do or get to you for counseling and support?
Well, we visit a lot of schools. We visit corporations. We visit governmental agencies, and we have a website and are on Facebook. And the parent P is the first letter, and it was founded in 1972 by a parent,
wow.
Jean Manford, who in 1972 made one simple sign to walk in the New York Pride Parade, and it said, "Parents unite to support our gay children."
Wow. That is powerful. And really, Georgia Equality working to do some of the same things, but in a different way.
Yeah, we really work more in the legislative realm. We work down at the state capitol. We work in municipalities around the state. Of course, we're focused in areas where there's larger population, like Atlanta or Athens or Savannah. But frankly, we're also where the people are. So we are in smaller cities like Albany or Valdosta, and up in Blue Ridge in the mountains, where we know that there's a sizable LGBT community.
And you know, one of your best friends, Marcy, put you on the spot.
She did.
So could you help us understand what the letters of LGBTQ stand for?
Yeah, so it's lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and the Q can be both questioning and queer. I think it really depends upon the identity of the individual. There's also oftentimes people will add an I and an A for intersex. Intersex for the I, and for A, it's asexual or it's for allies, to show that we all are one big community, including those that don't necessarily identify on the LGBTQ spectrum, but want to be there. They're an important part of our community as
How
well.
would you say the state of Georgia, city of Atlanta is when it comes to the rights of the LGBTQ community?
Well, certainly the city of Atlanta is far ahead of anywhere else in Georgia. It's the shining light for the rest of the state, and it shows where the rest of the state not only needs to go, but can go. The state overall, though, is legally not a very happy place for the LGBT community. In fact, one national organization has Georgia as one of only 5 states with an actual negative score when it comes to rights. Legal rights for the LGBT community. But the city of Atlanta, the Municipal Equality Index that HRC just released, gives Atlanta a perfect score. So we know if it can happen in the city of Atlanta, it can happen anywhere in the state.
We're going to talk about some of the things parents can do to help their children once they come out to them, because I did meet quite a few children who said once they did, their parents really kicked them out of the homes. Not something we want to see or hear.
Right, right. It's one of the main things PFLAG does is it has support groups for parents, and the sons and daughters or siblings are welcome to attend, but support groups for the parents themselves. They often come to us because someone they love, someone they care about, has come out to them. And it's sometimes said that the people coming out have been on the long journey to decide what they would say, who they would share it with, how they're going to self-identify, and then they tell the parent, and the parent sometimes goes into the closet. Can be in shock. They've had expectations for the way they perceive their child. So a lot of our impact is parents in circles. They're about an hour and a half each. The emphasis on share your own experience, strength, and hope. There's never, in my opinion, an answer, but there's like, we're going through this. I felt this, my husband felt that, our teenager said that, and then other parents in the circle don't say, you should,
no judgment,
you must, you need to, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
It's more like, well, when our daughter came out to us, we felt this, and we found that this approach, and then somebody else can say, and then because we have a mix of parents and children and aunts and uncles and grandmothers and whatever, and 8th graders to high school, college, all that.
Wow.
They give different perspectives, and it's very interesting that a parent who might be in shock and like this with their own child at home can hear two other students who's one's at Georgia Tech and one's at Georgia, and they're talking about, oh yes, when I came out in high school, it threw my parents for a loop and whatever that, and we're now in this situation.
Which helps tremendously. And talk about, just a little bit, Jeff, what you see as the biggest roadblocks for Georgia right now when it comes to the LGBT community?
Well, it is really creating the political will and a bipartisan support. Frankly, over the last several years down at the legislature, we've had an increasing number of Republicans that have shown support for the LGBT community. We've seen the defeat of hostile legislation 5 years in a row. So that's a good point. But we need to do better. It's not enough to just say no to discrimination. What we need to do is be able to protect people against discrimination based on their sexual orientation and their gender identity. And frankly, Georgia is one of only a handful of states that has no state-level civil rights law at all. So it's time for us to protect all Georgians, regardless of their race, religion, sex, gender, sexual orientation, age, disability, or veteran status against discrimination.
So what grade would you give Governor Deal and the state right now?
You know, actually, Governor Deal has vetoed some legislation. He's made some subtle changes in state government. I would give him a solid B at this point in time. But I'm hoping that we've got a different set of politics going into 2019, and we'll have even more support to get Georgia where we need to be on LGBTQ rights.
Anything you need to get for PFLAG besides the awareness that you guys are available and out there? Can we send people to your website?
We would love to have them visit the website. We'd really appreciate if they would come to a support circle, and then depending on how they feel about themselves and the situation, we're always looking for volunteers to go with us to the places we're invited, Coca-Cola, the Federal Reserve, schools, high schools, all of that, because there's the telling of one's own story. If you can tell it with humility and that sensibility that this is my journey, and then to be understood and to be affirmed is just amazing.
All right, we'll see you both at Pride in just a few hours. If you'd like to volunteer or see how you can get involved with Georgia Equality, their website is georgiaequality.org. And to reach the folks at PFLAG Georgia Atlanta, their website is pflagatl.org. And all of that information will definitely be found on our free CBS 46 mobile app. Stay with us. You're going to meet two moms who are going to be out at today's parade giving out free mom hugs. We'll tell you all about that when we come back.